to a damning story on how the government failed to design a social security program that would guarantee everyone, not just a few, an adequate standard of living during the pandemic. Now, that's according to a report by the Human Rights Watch organization released on Tuesday morning. President Kenyatta on the 23rd of May 2020 had announced that the government had allocated 10 billion shillings to cushion vulnerable households from the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. However, Nelson Marwa, the Principal Secretary for Social Protection at the Ministry of Labour and Social Protection, has denied the report's findings, saying that the money was managed by a multi-agency team and disbursed by mobile telecommunications company Safaricom.
According to the Human Rights Watch report released Tuesday, dubbed "We're All Vulnerable Here," Kenya's pandemic cash transfer program, riddled with irregularities, only a small fraction of vulnerable families in Nairobi benefited from the program announced by President Kenyatta, allocating 10 billion shillings specifically to cushion the vulnerable households from the economic impact of COVID-19.
We have identified needy households in Nairobi that will be the inaugural recipients of the weekly COVID-19 support stipend.
In Nairobi, for instance, the estimated 8 informal settlements are Kibera, Mukuru, Korogosho, Mathare, Kangemi, Kawangware, Kahawa, Soweto, and Dagoretti, Waithaka. According to Slum Dwellers International, have over 600,000 households, all of them in dire need of support, with many having lost jobs or closed businesses. The number of those supported by the government program in Nairobi amounts to 4.8% of households in informal settlements.
Sema asante kwa Mungu juu amenipatia bure, si ndio? Hata kama ni serikali, Mungu awabariki.
Na nilikuwa nasema hata mimi ningepata hiyo pesa, kuna pahali ingenisaidia.
The recipients should have received 35 weekly installments. We found that majority did not get anything. They did not even know that there was a cash transfer program going on.
Human Rights Watch interviewed 136 people between July 2020 and February 2021, mostly government officials and residents of informal settlements in Nairobi. Although this report focused only on informal settlements in Nairobi County, Kenyan officials said they had rolled out the cash transfers in 21 of the 47 counties. According to the CS for Treasury and Planning, the main criteria for selecting beneficiaries was households with high poverty index, limited to households with disabilities, certain medical conditions, and other factors. The program was carried out by village elders, assisted by CHVs, youth leaders, and supervised by chiefs. But researchers found that the chiefs largely ignored the criteria and instead registered their friends and relatives, many of whom did not reside in Nairobi. Human Rights Watch further said the disbursement was characterized by lack of transparency, cronyism, nepotism, and outright favoritism. Government officials failed to follow the stated selection criteria or to share information that should have enabled more vulnerable families to enroll.
In fact, in some instances, there are indications that some of the money was actually sent to some government officials.
However, while speaking to press, Nelson Marwa, Principal Secretary for Social Protection at the Ministry of Labour and Social Protection, denied the report's findings, further saying that money was managed by a multi-agency team and disbursed by Safaricom, which has all the records. Meanwhile, in the last 24 hours, 618 more people have tested positive for COVID-19. From a sample size of 5,507, the test positivity rate is 11.2%. Nairobi has recorded 256 cases, the highest number, Mombasa 52, Kiambu 41, Nakuru 30, and Uasin Gishu 24. 17 patients have succumbed to the disease, bringing the fatalities to 3,800. Dorcas Wangira, Citizen TV, Nairobi.